Alright, well, no knowledge. I've just been looking at some comment by Mr. IC Freecourts about the cough in the coffin. Right, and this has led to some more knowledge, right, relating to the the hidden ideas in hidden trans ideas in the death and rebirth, right? Right, when you have the coffin, the funeral, right? You have the funeral and you have the pallbearers, and they help carry the casket and all this, part of the ceremony, like, right? Pall is a heavy cloth that's draped over a coffin, right? Pallbearer. And in Roman times, a soldier, right, wore a cape or cloak called a pallium. Of course, you have the name Paul, right? Obviously very biblical name and famously like Paul McCartney and all that. Again, this is part of the code, right? Because you drape the cloth over a coffin, right? In other words, it's becoming another metaphor for trans, right? But what you also have with this, right, is a pallbearer. A pallbearer, right, is the same as a spear carrier, right? As we've seen in the the Roman idea about the spear carriers, the legions and the spear carriers. It's one of these metaphors for the syringe, right? And the hormone users, right? The spear carriers. So here you have the pallbearer's speech. And again, right, it's that they were black people, right? The pallbearer's speech. This is here 1875 by Nathan Bedford Forrest. Then they doubt it's to do with trans. There's the free men idea there written there. Again, this pallbearer's idea, right, is basically a metaphor for the syringe users. Right, a lot of codes is revealed from this, right? A pallbearer, right? So pole dancer, right? And obviously the pole dancing thing became a big hobby, in recent years. Like about 20 years ago or whatever, suddenly all of a sudden pole dancing became this sort of big thing, right? But this one a bit more interesting, right? And the same with politicians, police, right? The police, right? I've looked at the ice, the ice idea in a few videos, right? So we know what the ice is basically, right? So at the pool, right? The pool, basically the syringe, right? So your politicians and your police and your politicians, right? Pool, right? Of course, right, you get the idea of polar opposites, right? Polar opposites, like pillars, like the pillars in the Freemasonry, right? The polar opposites. As you can see, 777 with the fingers there, right? The hand of God, 777, yeah. Diametrically opposite points of view type of thing, right? Polar opposite. So, you take this, like the idea of the trans and the natural person are basically viewed as polar opposites in the society, right? Such as the polar points, north and south. I mean, you could take the position of like blacks and whites are polar opposites, but that would be a profane type of level, right? That would be like a profane disguise type of idea, right? The actual polar opposites, in true terms, is the naturals and the transes, right? Those sort of who are secretly transes, right? They take the polar opposite view to the natural people, right? That's what's going on type of thing, right? Like I say, the politician idea and the police idea, right? thing about pool dancing, right? And apparently pool dancing came about in the 1920s. And there was a long high pool that held the tent in the circus. And there some of these women, not probably transes, started dancing on them and sliding down them or whatever. In 90s and 1980s and 1990s, associated with the adult industry. Pool dancing. So as more transes became, more prominent, then this become more prominent, see? The Chinese pool, right? So obviously like a bit of a pool idea, right? And this pool, like I see, is representing the syringe. Right? And the polka dot. Yeah, someone said that years ago that the polka dot or something was, that they were syringe, what do you call it, syringe marks or something. The pool. See here, right? Long shot extended pool syringe. Right? For, injecting cattle and that. The pool syringe is very much your thing, right? The pool syringe, Campbell's Pet Company. Campbell the unit, right? The Chamberlains. Right? CFT Flex, pool syringe. Aluminium pool syringe, right? So, it's a real thing, is a pool syringe. The pool syringe, see? Right, and as we know from one of the previous videos I was looking at, right? The spear is the syringe, right? The spear carriers. Like says about the pool bearer and the spear carrier. Is they both mean that the hormone user, the injection user, right? Of course, he has Britney Spears doing the pool dancing, Big, what do you call it? Wait, banging the pool dancing, Britney Spears. The old pool dancing, see? So it's all a trans type of symbology. The pool dance. Again, more bits of code. The pilum is the Roman spear, right? So before the pill, right? Before the hormone pill, they used the spear, right? Or the syringe. And then after they invented the pill, more people took the pill than the syringe, right? But according to this, the Roman spear was the pilum, like the cape was the pallium, right? It's all pill and syringe related, right? It's all occurs. It's a battle tactic. It's a battle tactic. The javelins, pilum. Of course, right, when you have the upper class, an aristocrat class and all that, they like to play the polo, right? Which is played with these long sticks on horseback, right? So we know the horse involvement in the hormone idea, right? The horse. And there's the long pool idea, right? And the I love the long pool idea, right? In the horse. Again, what you're looking at is trans symbology, basically. In the pool. Yeah, you see a story. This is from France 24. Yeah, did celebrities and politicians just pretend to get COVID-19, demonstrating a retractable syringe. Yeah. Of course, it was the whole thing was made up, so of course it did. But the idea of the syringe and the politicians together, the disappearing needle, see? So what they're doing is putting in transcode all the time. And they're liking it. The whole thing's basically been like the thing where they've been putting in a load of their transcode, right? Just rubbing transcode right in your face. And does. And this whole thing is what you call a hex. And does, innit? The pool. Of course, poltergeist, has its origins in the in the syringe user, the type of ghost or spirit. Again, this is part of the hex idea. The scary ghosts come from the tea drinkers, like the Holy Ghost. There's Craig T. Nelson. There's obviously a lot of tea drinkers like to create the idea of the spooky, the spooky ghost. That's hex. Basically hex. Staying on the hex idea, see, the Politburo, Executive Committee for Communist Parties, this was used a lot in hex, Cold War hex. About the Politburo and all that. And basically the Syringe Bureau, see? The Hormone Users Bureau. The hex attached to it, as you can see there's 7 members. Lenin, Trotsky, Stalin, all that. So again, attributing a lot of hex with this idea. Going back to this idea, it's like the black and white becoming the death and life. Right? The death and life, the death and the rebirth, right? So they always, they would have these funeral ceremonies. They're coding in, even in them, right? They're coding in their ideas about, death and rebirth, right? This, right, PAL syringes. The PAL Smart syringe. Smart for trans. Right? Smart is trans. And the PAL syringe. Hamilton Technologies, the PAL syringe. The pole bearer, you see what I mean? It's all coded, the whole thing. Basically, you had Frank Sinatra, right? Frank Sinatrans, right? And he was in a movie, Man with a Golden Arm, which was about an unidentified syringe addiction, right? Interesting, he was also in Pal Joy, right? Pal Joy, right? But he was in this movie. The addictive drug was never identified in the film. The Man with a Golden Arm about a syringe user, right?